Wala naman ako sinasabing disparity, ma'am. I was just pointing...
Well, if there is no disparity between the previous and the current proceeding, perhaps you should just go straight to your manifestation.
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to our third ground, which
I
is
was
the
not
subject
pointing
matter
out,
of our
ma'am, to
current
any disparity.
deliberation.
I was just saying, I was just referencing na,
All right.
na dapat pareho lang.
I think the chair has to rule, Madam Chair, because allowing him to proceed without ruling on the point of order would basically impinge on our previous proceedings.
Madam
The
Chair,
point of order is sustained. The Honorable Nasal is enjoined from making reference to the impeachment proceeding against the President. Please go direct to your manifestation in relation to our ground for impeachment, subject matter of our current deliberation.
Okay, ma'am. I'll just continue. Pag binasa natin ang Article 3, it alleges movements of funds and operational handling, ngunit hindi nito malinaw na tinukoy ang isang corrupt agreement, hindi rin nito tinukoy ang kung anong official act ang di umano'y na impluwensyahan, at wala rin malinaw na aligasyon ng personal benefit na natanggap ng respondent. Ang kahina-hinalang daloy ng pondo ay hindi otomatikong nangangahulugan ng bribery. Conclusions of law cannot replace ultimate facts. Tulad ng paulit-ulit na ipinatupad sa prior sufficiency determinations, narrative detail alone does not cure the absence of essential elements. Dahil dito, Article 3 likewise fails to meet the required threshold of sufficiency in substance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Nasal. There are no other members who would like to make a manifestation on Article 3. We now move on to Article 4, bribery, procurement irregularities, and corruption. Any member who wishes to make a manifestation on this article?
Mr. Chairman,
Congressman Rufus Rodriguez.
again, Article 4 does not provide for the six grounds for impeachment. Only one, bribery. In the title of Article 4, it says bribery, procurement irregularities, and related corruption. These are not found in the Constitution, only bribery. And then, there's a parenthesis down there which says Department of Education, Transactions, and Monetary Gifts. In other words, again, as a whole, just to, not to belabor the point, but just to state that my continuing objection to the jurisdiction of this committee on acts of former Secretary Sara Duterte in the DepEd. Plus, Mr. Chairman, there is also no clear recital of this bribery, to whom, how much, who gave. In other words, there is completely no recital in these things. And so therefore, I would say that Article 4 we have no jurisdiction and has no recital of facts, and therefore should be dismissed. Thank you.
Your
Mr. Chair.
continuing objection is noted, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Congressman Santay.
Yes. Mr. Chair, while I maintain the same position that her actions as DepEd Secretary should have no bearing in this impeachment complaint, I would like to further elucidate on Article 4 on the alleged bribery. Now, ang Article 4 ay nagsasabi may bribery sa DepEd procurement activities. Ang pangunahing allegation, respondent distributed monetary gifts and other advantages to certain officials of the DepEd connected with procurement activities. Nagpakita pa nga tayo kahapon ng 3 video pero kahit dun sa video yung ipinakita nung 3 opisyal na nagbigay ng mga statement, hindi rin malinaw kung paano naging bribery ang alleged envelopes o monetary gift. Yung kay Mercado, dun sa pinakitang video, sinabi niya nakakuha siya ng envelope, parte raw siya ng back, pero dun sa narration niya, in fact, meron raw bidding na hindi natuloy. So, para saan yung pera? Hindi rin naman pala natuloy yung bidding. So, si Usayas naman, sinabi niya, hindi siya, may nakuha siya, pero hindi naman daw siya membro ng back. Hindi rin sinaad kung ano yung pinagawa sa kanya. Sa bribery, kailangan ipakita ang quid pro quo. May binigay na pera o benefit kapalit ng specific official acts. Sa complaint, binasa natin to, hindi pinakita kung anong procurement decision ang allegedly binili. Hindi rin malinaw kung ang mga acts na ginawa ng DepEd officials ay hindi talaga parte ng kanilang regular duties. Kung ang ginawa ng official ay expected functions of their office, mahirap i-frame yon as bribery. Mas lalo pang lalabo kung ang allegation ay dahil sariling statement lang ng mga taong ipinakita. Kung hindi niya binuksan ng envelope, hindi rin malinaw. Kung may pera nga sa loob, kung magkano, kung anong laman, well, that was based on the statement of Mercado. Pero ang kailangan ipakita natin, meron bang ginawang kapalit? At saan nanggaling yung pera? Because there was just an assumption that it came from DepEd funds. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Santay. Any other member who has a manifestation on, as far as Article 4 is concerned?
Thank you.
Congressman Chua?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we have discussed this issue thoroughly yesterday, and I think we should move on to the next ground. And I maintain my position with respect to to Article 4. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Chua. Any other member? There being none, then we proceed to Article 5. Unexplained wealth, SALAN violations, bank records, and financial forensics. Any member who wishes to make a manifestation on this article?
Yes.
Congressman Rufus Rodriguez?
Mr. Chairman, here, there is no statement. There is no proposition that one of the 6 grounds or more of the Constitution has been violated. Unexplained wealth is not in the Constitution. SALN violations is not in the Constitution. Bank records, financial forensics are not in the Constitution. However, let's take this. As probably I will now be able to just be able to assume, arguendo, that this may be to be able to support the betrayal of public trust. But Mr. Chairman, the problem with Article 4 is that there are absolutely no recital of facts constituting the offense charge, because we don't even have the offense charge. There is no statement of either culpable violation of the Constitution. Second is treason. Third, Mr. Chairman, is bribery. Fourth is graft and corruption. Fifth is other high crimes. And sixth, betrayal of public trust. Nothing in Article 5 of this fourth impeachment complaint. So clearly, there is no recital of facts. How is there unexplained wealth? There is no statement that the Vice President received so much money and has deposited so much money, has acquired so much properties, that there is unexplained wealth. Because this is also defined under Republic Act 1379, RA 1379, which is the civil forfeiture of illegally acquired wealth. Nothing. Nothing on this. Also, there is no statement of SALN, which SALN violations. Because in the third complaint, it was the SALN from 2007 to 2017 as she was vice mayor and mayor. But nothing. Nothing on SALNs from 2022 when she became president, vice president, June 30, 2022 up to now. Nothing. There's no statement here. So the second will again fall, the violations. Bank records. What bank records are you talking about? There is no attachment of any bank record or any statement of bank record. And then financial forensics. This is something that is a matter of evidence, not as a ultimate statement of facts. So therefore, Madam Chair, that is why, you see, that is why they are requesting, if you go to page 59, you look at this. This is not a recital of facts. What does it say? It's 59. 247 paragraph. to determine the existence and extent of unexplained wealth and SAL-in violations, I respectfully request, Attorney Cabrera, respectfully request that the Honorable House of Representatives, through the appropriate committee, take the following actions. Issue subpoena. We are not yet there. The only problem with this is a clear request for a fishing expedition against the Vice President. So very clear. In Article 4, there is nothing that recites facts that will lead us to say that there is a sufficiency of substance. And therefore, very clear, what do they ask here? To order preservation of vault inventories. Can you imagine that in this particular proceeding already asking for us to fish? And then we also to authorize coordination with COA, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Anti-Money Council. But they have to first recite the statement, ultimate facts constituting. There is none, Madam Chair. So therefore, clearly, this particular, by a very face on the face, in the four corners, under positive law, where you can only look at the four corners, like in this case on finding substance, we have to look at the statements in the four corners of the document. And there's nothing there about all of these allegations. So therefore, Madam Chair, Article 4 as Article 5 as Article 4 false. There is no sufficiency in substance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Po and then the Honorable Suntay.
Madam Chair, of course, with due respect
Madam Chair,
to the previous
may I be
speaker,
allowed to answer after Congressman
Yes,
Suntay?
you will be called after the Honorable Suntay.
Madam Chair, with due
You may
respect to my colleague and someone I believe is very knowledgeable when it comes to the law and the Constitution, I'd like to cite that Article 11, Section 17 of the Constitution is clear that public officers are required to file a true and complete statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. And this is not a minor administrative requirement. It is a constitutional duty grounded in public accountability. So at this stage, our task, Madam Chair, is quite limited. We're not determining guilt, and we are not conducting a forensic audit. We're deciding whether the allegations are ultimately true. So we are determining sufficiency and substance. And what I have noticed and what I have observed here in this complaint is that, as our honorable colleague has mentioned, there seems to be no SALIN copies, no bank records, and no forensic financial reports attached to this complaint. However, I wouldn't say it's a fishing expedition. So if I may ask some points of clarification to our sponsor, our colleague, Rep. Abante, I'd like to ask...
The endorsers' attention are invited regarding questions to be raised by the Honorable Po.
To further give, I guess, light to this issue, may I ask what specific transactions, properties, accounts, asset increases are being cited indicative of unexplained wealth? Or maybe are there particular SALIN years where material omissions were alleged?
May we hear from our endorsers?
Well, to add, Madam Chair, the complaint narrates that the forensic records of the VP reveal glaring discrepancies as to the inflows and the transfers of funds in her banks as compared to her declared income in her SALN po. These discrepancies do not account by any lawful income or declaration of gifts, thereby giving the rise for reasonable inference or originated from illicit resources, Madam Chair.
You are referring to the income of the Vice President vis-a-vis what appears in her account. Honorable Ortega, may we hear your confirmation?
Yes,
Madam Chair, which account? Which bank records? Because we are here, ultimate facts. Which bank account, which bank record are we talking about here, if it's stated here? Because I have read this thoroughly 3 times already, and I did not see any.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, maybe ask first our endorser, because we have to have ultimate facts. When you say bank records, then you have. a duly authenticated bank statement given by the bank.
With
that
all,
this is-
with all due respect to the Honorable Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us all be reminded of the bank secrecy law. While the bank account is significant, I think we are not in the position to expect the complainants to provide specific details of these accounts in view of the bank secrecy law. And we all understand that impeachment proceeding is the only avenue by which the complainants may be able to look into this and perhaps avail of the documents necessary to support this specific ground. That is for the record. The honorable endorsers are recognized to respond to the Honorable Rodriguez.
Therefore, the need for forensic financial review, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Let's go back to the justice member who raised this question. The Honorable Poe is again recognized.
So continuing on that point and manifestation, since there are no documents or bank records that could be cited, was there maybe any sworn testimony, public disclosures, audit findings, financial statements, or comparative SALN data over the years that may have been used as the basis for this ground?
The Honorable Poe is asking about the specific documents or evidence in support of the fifth ground of the fourth impeachment complaint. That is in view of the bank secrecy law. What therefore are the evidence so far attached or considered in support of the fifth ground of the fourth impeachment complaint?
Madam Chair, it would not be automatic for us to be able to tell those banks no because of the bank secrecy law. That's the reason why itong pinag-uusapan natin, yung impeachment complaint na ito, lalabas po ito sa trial. We are not yet in the trial. We are just talking about the sufficiency of substance dito. Meron bang sufficiency of substance na pinag-uusapan natin? Meron. But in everything in this, I would like to tell our colleagues here, no, na this will all come out in the trial, in the impeachment court. You see? Yun po ang nais kong sabihin sa lahat.
The Honorable Rodriguez.
In answer to my good chairman, the Committee on Human Rights, there has to be a recital of facts. And in a recital of facts, there must be a reference to testimonies about bank accounts, if we cannot get the bank accounts. In other words, there has to be a nexus of the statement about irregularity in SALN and bank records by having itself the bank records, the SALNs. And so therefore, it is totally devoid of any particular recital of facts, because that is what we need. We cannot go further if there's no recital of facts constituting the offense charge. Because in fact, the statement of Honorable Brian Poe that there is a requirement in the Constitution of SALN, whatever it is not in the 6. To construe the constitutional provisions, you are very much limited to the enumeration. Use them generis. If it's not in the it's not in the enumeration, it cannot be a ground. So again, culpable violation of the Constitution. Second, treason. Third, bribery. Fourth, graft and corruption. Other high crimes, bitter public trust. No statement about having an inaccurate or untruthful SALN as a ground for impeachment. So that is what we have. We have to therefore have that. So just to be able to respond to the statement that there is a violation of the Constitution that is culpable. It is not, Madam Chair. In fact, those in the SALN can even be able to reform and refile a corrected one. Madam Chair.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable Defensor.
Madam Chair.
And then the Honorable Abante.
Thank you.